Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating topic of past lives. Ever felt like there's more to your story than meets the eye? Well, you're not alone. Stick around because we're about to uncover 9 intriguing signs from your current life that might just give you clues about your past incarnations. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up. So let's get started, shall we? 9 signs of your past lives in your current life. The ninth sign is strange habits, quirks, and odd behaviors. Often we have some very peculiar habits and quirks, and we often wonder, my God, where did I get this habit from? Why do I have this behavior? Many times, these habits were acquired in past lives. If it's something bad, something that harms you or others, most likely these habits and quirks are manifesting now so that you can correct them, so that you can free yourself from them. And we know that we have to free ourselves from everything bad that may appear, that may manifest in our lives. The eighth sign is birthmarks. Often these birthmarks are related, for example, to accidents that the person had in a past life, or even accidents that led to their passing. Many people with birthmarks actually took their own lives in a past life. But wait a bit, it's not that everyone with a birthmark means they took their own life. But for example, if a person committed this act, sometimes with a gunshot, drowning, poison, or jumping from high places anyway, so sometimes the person brings this mark or these marks, depending on how things went. Often the mark is internal as well, for example, people who have problems with some internal organ or in the brain. All this can be a mark that the person brought from the way they passed away in the past reincarnation. The 7th sign is the famous déjà vu. Who hasn't experienced that, right? Sometimes you go to a certain place and you think, I've been here before. You talk to someone and you think, I've had this conversation before. In this sign of déjà vu, people often get a bit confused because many times déjà vu can be an experience you had during sleep when your spirit partially freed itself from your body. Then you went to that place and talked to that person. Later, when your spirit returns to your body, you wake up. You're awake, you go back to that place, talk to that person, and you're having a memory of that experience outside your body when you were asleep. But it can also be a memory of something that happened in your past life. Sometimes you don't need to have been in that place talking specifically to that person in your past incarnation, but this can bring back memories of moments from past lives. The 6th sign is inexplicable skills. We see this daily. Sometimes we see very young children who already excel in some area, in music, in any form of art. We see children sometimes entering university, children who have a very great talent, something inexplicable. We look and think, how can a child of that age have this talent, have this aptitude? There are children who speak several languages, children who play musical instruments perfectly or paint and draw with perfection without necessarily having studied those disciplines. Indeed, it's a sign of their past reincarnation. It's a skill they developed in past incarnations and is now manifesting again. Why does this happen? Because all the skills we acquire in past reincarnations, we bring them to the next incarnations, even if we don't remember, but we bring them. And for some people, this manifests, flourishes in a very intense way and from a very young age. The 5th sign is when you dislike someone for no reason. You look at that person and right away there's a feeling of aversion. You don't like that person even if that person hasn't done anything to you. Many times you're meeting them for the first time or you've never had contact with that person before. This can also be a sign of a past incarnation. Probably you and that person were together in that past life. And now you've encountered each other again. Maybe you've met again just so that these differences can be resolved. But this feeling of not liking that person is so deeply rooted in you, so intense from your past incarnation, that as soon as you see that person in this current incarnation, that feeling immediately arises, manifests. You don't like that person. Nothing is by chance in this life. So many people we meet on our journey, including in the family, many of these people are our disagreements from past incarnations. And we meet them, we live with them now, in this incarnation, so that we can overcome all these difficulties and differences with these people. This can happen, for example, between parents and children and grandparents anyway, but when it's so deeply rooted in the person in this incarnation, when they encounter it again, then these grudges from past lives manifest in a very evident way. The fourth sign is recurrent dreams. When you have recurrent dreams, the same dream over and over again, this can be an out-of-body experience. You're repeating that experience in this incarnation. So when you sleep, your spirit enjoys a certain freedom. You're having this experience, but many times this can indeed be a memory of your past incarnation, something you lived, and that is so strongly imprinted on your perispirit, on your subconscious, and you remember it very frequently during your dreams. The third sign is unexplainable affinities with cultures you haven't had contact with. There are people who are strongly connected to a certain culture, to a certain country, even if they've never been to those places. For example, I know people who have a very strong connection with Japan, for instance. People who love Japan, love Japanese culture, and have never been there. Or people who, for example, love Italy, love Portugal, but have never been there. Most likely this can be a sign of your past incarnation or past incarnations, because it may be that in your past life you were in those places, in those countries. Or it may be that in your past experience you had a very close contact with someone in that country anyway. This inexplicable connection with those cultures you don't know can indeed be a sign, a memory of your past incarnation. The second sign is illnesses and pains. Everything we do to our physical body that harms it is recorded in the perispirit. For those who are not familiar with the term, perispirit, a quick and simple explanation about it. Perispirit, which is a kind of spiritual body, is a sort of soul that can store the records of the physical body and ends up carrying this physical memory from one incarnation to another. So, in a new incarnation, the perispirit will bring informations that can manifest as diseases in your new reincarnation. Of course, often, the disease also could be a test that the spirit has to undergo while incarnated. In those cases, it has nothing to do with the habits of your past incarnation. So, for example, today's smoker who didn't get lung cancer in this life, most likely in the next one, they could get cancer or some health problem related to smoking. This is the law of cause and effect. So the illnesses, the pains that we feel today, most likely are signs of our past incarnation. The first sign is unexplained phobias. Sometimes we have some phobias and we have no idea where they came from. Of course, I'm talking about those cases that are not resolved through traditional medicine. There are cases that are only resolved through regression sessions with psychologists or psychiatrists who use hypnosis, or with parapsychologists. And it's discovered that the cause of the problem doesn't come from childhood or from when you were a baby, but comes from past lives. For example, fear of certain things that we have no idea where it came from. Sometimes we think, my God, I don't even know why I have this phobia, this fear, and this probably is a sign of your past life. It's possible that this phobia, this situation that makes you afraid, which is the reason for the fear, could have been the reason for your passing in the past life, or the reason for a very great difficulty you had in the past incarnation. Bonus. Our last one sign is unexplained affinities. Affinities can be with places or with people. In the same way that sometimes we don't like someone for no reason, when the person hasn't done any harm to us, we don't like them. We have aversion. We also have affinities that can't be explained. Sometimes we meet someone and we like them right away. This affinity arises, or even with places. Most likely, these are signs of your past life. You are having memories related to people. You may be meeting that person again, related to places. You may be going there again in this incarnation.
And there you have it, folks. 10 intriguing signs from your current life that might just hold the key to your past life. Pretty fascinating stuff, right? If you've resonated with any of these signs, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing content like this. Until next time, take care and keep exploring.